Cannot wait for that. We were treated to a pretty special Super Sunday yesterday as well. Spurs scoring 5 goals, 4 of them in the second half against Newcastle, and really the surprise was that Harry Kane was not on the score sheet. But nonetheless, you gave him man of the match. Jamie, why?
Because he changed the game. In the second half, his role basically just took the game away from Newcastle. And the role we're talking about is something I think we've been talking on this show about for maybe the last 12, 18 months in terms of this role of him dropping deeper and getting on the ball. And I think we've got someone else who did that successfully well in his career next to me. But I just want to start with some of the clips of his passing range. I want to speak to you about it, Wayne. And I just wanted to talk about... even just stop it now. As the ball comes into Kulusevski, and I think if we're talking about the Harry Kane under... Here he is here. If we're talking about the Harry Kane under Pochettino, I think as soon as that ball... Let's say that was Eriksen or Dele Alli. He's making that run, or he's making that run to get in behind. I think the situation he finds himself in now is because he can't make them runs so often. Is that something that happens with you, Wayne, as your career goes on? Maybe you have injury. You actually have to change your game so you come deeper.
Yeah, I think when you get a little bit older, you lose that sharpness. But I don't think this is the case with Harry Kane. I think over the last couple of seasons, he has been dropping deeper. And I think this is the first time a manager's... It looks like it's worked on. If you look at the players running past him when he receives the ball, every time the ball comes into him, they've got players, Tottenham have got players sprinting beyond him. And that allows him to use his quality. He can do both. He can play as a 9, he can play as a 10. He's an incredible player.
I mean, again, we look at him, and something I just wanted to highlight. Now, when we talk about great players, when anyone describes a great player, we talk about them having, almost feel like they've got an extra second on the ball or having time on the ball. It's always a great indicator. And I think right now, Harry Kane is looking, you just see his head there, I think he's looking for Son in behind. And then he just realises the defender almost blocking it, and he just has that bit of time. He just sort of leans back and then finds Kulusevski. And listen, I spoke about this front three within the game. Kulusevski, Son, Harry Kane. I think that is a really fantastic front three. But on this clip, Wayne, I just wanted to ask you about this position he finds himself in now. And we would say, or most people watching that will say that's a great pass. But I think when you've played the game and you sort of see Harry yourself, do you think that is a difficult pass, or do you think that's a pass you could make, Kevin De Bruyne could make, and you wouldn't think too much about it?
I think that's a simple pass for Harry Kane. I think you look at the space he's got to put it in behind. He's got the right angle to be able to execute the pass in. He'd be very disappointed if he didn't make that pass. There's some passes I've seen him hit this season which are incredible, but that one for me is a simple one for him because he's got all the space in front of him, the angle's right, and it's a good pass because he's done it, but I think it's a simple one he'd expect to make sure he gets to the player.
I just want to highlight this. And is this another example of how much assists mean now to Harry Kane, not just as goals?
It was our assumption on Sunday that he might be disappointed the team has scored 5 and he hasn't scored one, but now he's contributing in other ways.
That's 100%. He's got in his head. I think Harry Kane of 3-4 years ago, all he's thinking about is goals. Now he's got in his head goals and assists, and that reaction, I've been there. I used to love assisting goals, so I know 100% he's thinking, he wants to get the goal scoring record. I think he wants to get the assist record as well, and I think he's capable of doing it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And just something you said on the earlier clip. Now, just let me take this back. I mean, again, I think if that's under Pochettino, the Harry Kane I saw playing then will be maybe making that run in behind. And it was interesting what you just said there. You feel that he's coming deeper because that's maybe from the coach's point of view or his own sort of football brain. He wants to get more involved. I actually felt it was maybe because he maybe doesn't have the pace or the strength that he had under Pochettino, so they don't want to play right up front. I just felt a lot of attackers I played with at different times over the years eventually always come deeper to get on the ball because they can't maybe hit maybe the centre-halves as much. And that's not a criticism of Harry Kane because obviously what he's doing now is brilliant, but you feel there's more to it.
Yeah, and I think he's not old. He's still a fairly young lad, and I don't think his speed will have gone at the minute. So I think he's done that off his own back over the last couple of seasons. But I think what Conte's done, he's gone in and he's worked on it. If you look at the reaction, again, of the other players, how they run forward when the ball's going into him, because they know he can deliver that pass. So I really believe this has worked on. It's almost like Totti, when Totti was at Roma. Roma used to play this way, and Totti would come deep, and they had runners running beyond him.
Just something I picked up on, and I want to speak to you about this way. I mean, if we stop it there now, that's the right wing back, and that's your centre forward. So you've got Emerson Royal and Harry Kane, and you'd normally expect, right, his role is to back up, and Harry Kane's job is to get in the box, he's the centre forward, and it's almost roles reversed. I didn't know what your feeling was on that.
Yeah, I think sometimes physically it's hard to do it, to play the pass and then get in the box, but that's the one thing I'd say he needs to do a little bit more, is go and join in. Once you play the pass, then get in the box, because if a chance comes in the box, he's the one player you want to get on the end of it. It might be a cutback, but he's the one player you want to get on the end of it.
Well, this is, early in the season, still under Conte a few weeks ago, and when you said before about, Kane coming deep now, and I think you've got to do that as a centre-back. You've got to go all the way in with him. We saw what happened to Lascelles yesterday when he let Harry Kane turn. But as the ball breaks to him, you just said before about it being a simple pass, that long pass to Son, and I agree with you. But I think the assist of the season. I'm just going to stop it now. Oh, let's take it back. But I mean, how good is this?
The difference with this one is, if you look at the angle, it's a more straighter pass. So there's a big chance the goalkeeper, if he doesn't get it right, the goalkeeper can come and sweep up. So he has to get this inch perfect, and I think he has. Son's run into the space, he's put in the space to him, but actually it's right on Son's chest or foot, if you like, as he's played it through. It's a bit like a quarterback when the wide receiver is running into the space. It has to be perfect.
But when you say that, what I was thinking about watching him yesterday, it was almost like, I felt like I was watching Pirlo. He was coming that deep in midfield, and it's not always all the time about getting an assist. He's got the assist there, but it's playmaking from that deeper role. And obviously we've got Wayne with us now, and I couldn't think of too many players like Harry Kane, and you were the ones I could obviously think about in terms of being a centre forward and dropping deep. So we've got some clips of you in this position, and this is one away of Fulham, and you look how deep you are here. Can you explain what was happening here?
I think we'd had a wide free kick or a corner, and then so I've naturally just ended up there because I think I was edge of the box. And then obviously I've played G-Sun Park too, but for me that's a bit too deep, where I didn't want to be that deep at times, but this is where I wanted to be in this position.
Just on that first one, you said that you think maybe Harry Kane, they're working on it with Conte. What would Alex Ferguson be saying to you when you're coming that deep? Was that encouraged, or would you get frustrated that you weren't in the box?
Yeah, it was encouraged to come deep at times, but not all the time, but still be a threat in the round the box. So I had to try and get that balance right, and times I did go a lot deeper. Then I'd have Rio, I'd have Vidic tell me to push on and get further forward. So it's an instinct where you just want to go and be involved in the game, but actually I know I can create from them deep areas as well. Same with Harry Kane. So,
well, in this one, Wayne, this is a famous assist you make with Robin van Persie. Was this something that you worked on?
Yeah, me and Robin worked on this ourselves actually, and we spoke a lot. He had this relationship with Fabregas at Arsenal, and I spoke a lot to Robin on, if I get the ball with time, make them runs, I'll try and find you, I'll try and pick it out.
It's not a bad finish, is it?
For me, that's the best goal in Premier League history.
Ooh, it's a big one. but again, you're in the same sort of position, not exactly the same, and you've got Robin van Persie pulling off into that left channel. So was that something you were very mindful of? That's the run he likes to make. So I've got to find myself maybe more to the right side between the lines and make that pass. And would it be different for different strikers? Yeah, it'd be different. And I think even if you can go back a little bit there, it's all about the eye contact. That's all. You see it when I know, if you play it now. Oh, so if you're
when I've got now, time, you watch me looking for Robin. So now I'll take this touch, and now you'll see me looking for Robin, and then you can see Robin wanting the ball. You can see Robin with his arm wanting the ball. So it's that eye contact which allows me to make the pass and him to make the run, and then obviously you have to execute it right.
Brilliant. It looks so simple, but it's not.